Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
From the streets of New York to the rhythms of Africa, a wave of inspiration has been washing over artists across multiple genres, including R&B and rap. Rihanna Radar's got the scoop on how these talented musicians are taking a cue from vintage African songs. Rihanna Radar's tracking down some familiar names: The Weeknd, Tyler, The Creator, Aminé, J. Cole, Nas, and many more, who have sampled and interpolated old African tracks in their music. From Fela Kuti to Aster Aweke, the sounds of the continent have been influencing artists around the world. One notable example is Rihanna's hit single, Don't Stop the Music, which interpolates Michael Jackson's classic, Wanna Be Startin' Somethin'. However, it wasn't just a coincidence. Manu Dibango's iconic song, Soul Makassa, was actually sampled by Jay-Z in his 1997 track, Face Off. The connection is clear. Artists are drawing from the same well of inspiration. But what makes this trend so fascinating? For one, African music has been underrepresented in mainstream charts for decades. Yet, here we are, seeing artists take note and give credit where it's due. Take Aster Aweke's Yeshebelu. For instance, The Weeknd sampled her 1989 track on his own hit single, False Alarm. This isn't just a nod to the past, it's also an acknowledgement of the rich musical heritage that exists across Africa. Tyler, The Creator's NOID from Chromacopia, is another example. By sampling Zambian rock band Ngozi Family's 1977 track, Nizikupanga Ngozi, Tyler shows a deep respect for the African soundscapes that have shaped his own music. Aminé's 13 Months of Sunshine title track samples Aster Aweke's Nafkat from her 2019 album Chua, almost a decade after The Weeknd first drew inspiration from Aster's song. From Fela Kuti to Manu Dibango, the legendary Cameroonian saxophonist is arguably the most sampled artist of all time. His Soul Makassa has been a hookup for countless songs, including Michael Jackson's Wanna Be Startin' Somethin' and Beyoncé's Deja Vu, Homecoming Live. But what makes Manu Dibango so significant? For starters, he was one of the first African musicians to break into international markets, paving the way for future generations of artists. The story goes that Rihanna only asked Michael Jackson for permission to borrow a hook from his classic track, Wanna Be Startin' Somethin', but there was some controversy surrounding it. Dibango sued both Rihanna and Jackson for copyright infringement in 2009, seeking €500,000 in damages. The case was eventually thrown out because Dibango had accepted publishing credit on Rihanna's song. As artists continue to draw from the same well of inspiration, it raises questions about ownership and representation in the music industry. Can we give enough credit to African musicians who paved the way for these global influences? Or will we see this trend of sampling vintage African songs become more prominent, with even more artists jumping on the bandwagon? One thing's certain: this is a story worth telling, and one that highlights Rihanna Radar's passion for uncovering fresh insights into our favorite R&B tracks.